Let's talk about the basics of PR. Now, this applies to public relations, publicity, and communications. Now, if you have a brand or you are working for a brand and you have to protect their reputation or your own, then you're always going to be mindful about storytelling. What story is getting told by you, your brand, the brand, and what isn't? What are you prepared to tell? How are you telling it on all your platforms? But also in a responsive, even reactive way when you've got different stakeholders, whether they are a journalist or an external stakeholder or even a viewer, someone who's in your comments. And the thing is to understand story and how you are going to tell yours. You've always got to be tuned in to what's going on within the brand itself, as in the brand space. What's impacting it? Where does it fit within the current norms, the current sentiment? Because of this, you have to be very much switched on as a thinker. You can't be sometimes in, sometimes out. Public relations, communications, publicity, reputation management, all of these things, they're not like a tick box where, okay, if I do this bit, then this bit is controlled. It's not just writing a social media caption either. Let me give you, for instance, when I used to work in book publishing, and this is before Instagram was even a thing, I recall having to support the publicity desk on multiple authors and their book launches. One of them was Jamie Oliver. Another one was, I think, Gillian McKeith. There were multiple authors within the sort of general print desk that I was working on that I didn't know anything about. I mean, I may have heard about one of them on radio or TV, and part of the job was to collect press cuttings and clippings. And what that meant was actually physically cutting from magazine articles and newspapers. And then at that point, we also had some software that would do that for us, but it was still having to scan all the publications. And you can't just cut something just because it mentions your brand or the brand that you're working for. You need to read it. You need to understand what is the sentiment, what is the story that people are telling about you. And so you've got to immerse yourself in it. And it's only when you immerse yourself in it and start to build your awareness about your brand and how you're perceived and where you fit in the landscape within the industry that you're in, that you can begin to see, this is how my story is going to land here. This over here is how I'm going to land these key messages because I've done the prep work. So you have to go through this immersion experience with your brand, the brand that you're working for, and not get allergic to the sentiment that you receive, that you are actively seeking out. And this happens in reputational crisis for any brands. They don't want to look at the comments, or they just want to tune out because they know what they meant or they know what's true. Unfortunately, within branding, within understanding audience sentiment, there is a great deal of subjectivity, and for that reason you have to immerse yourself in it and you can't take it personally. So a big part of public relations, communications, publicity for a brand, for your brand, is to immerse yourself into it so you can begin to think, anticipate, forecast until the point that, where you may hear a story on a radio segment or you may come across an influencer right here, TikTok, YouTube, and think, they might be a great placement for it, or that story could be a great hook for a piece that we could run with that journalist that we know. You're always looking to connect the dots, and that's essentially what public relations people do. That's what we do. Now, I have a weekly schedule of uploading a tutorial on YouTube every week. However, I'm going through some pretty demanding times at the moment because I have a dissertation deadline for my master's is coming up, and it's iterative. And so there's only so much really that I can commit to. And so workflow is a very uh, important aspect to content creation. What's easier for workflow? And rather than giving up my Monday uploads on YouTube, I thought, you know what? Let's do this week, and maybe I have to repeat it again. So I'm here recording on TikTok, posting to TikTok and YouTube. Hey, YouTube people, I've not disappeared. You'll still see lots of short takes that I post on multiple channels, but it may be that you don't see the landscape tutorial. But hey, the value's still here. I'm still keeping it to record and post right here. So thank you if you are subbed to Serena's Playbook on YouTube, following on TikTok. I talk about my 20 plus years in communications and media and my systems thinking background to help you elevate, level up your strategic thinking for your brand. Perhaps it's for your experience within the media space. You are a communicator, a commentator, a student. This will all help you out. So if you haven't already, follow, subscribe for more, and I'll be back.